Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman, and this is Robert Weiner from Roberts Surfboards, and we have here Robert's personal Brofish with the Twonzer fin setup. It's always great to have the shapers stop here in Cape Hatteras and dig into their board bags, and we're psyched to check out Robert's personal Brofish. This is a new model for this year. Robert, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Brofish?
So this is a new model we're doing for 2018, and you know, I was getting a lot of friends. We had a horrible winter last year, and a pretty bad summer to lead up to it. And during the fall, I was making some fishes for some friends, and one of my riders was injured, and he wanted a board to kind of rehab on, and so I made him this fish, and basically the Brofish was derived from a very flat rocker model that we do called the pool toy. And what we did is we retemplated it. We did a lot of different things on it to make it a little bit more like a traditional retro fish. We added this, you know, we beaked the nose a little bit. We kept the nose a little thicker and then beaked it so it still looks nice and sexy. We put the swallowtail on it, but what we did compared to our traditional fish template is instead of having this big straight tail right here, which most traditional fishes have, we actually added a little bit more curve through here, which makes the swallowtail a little bit narrower, which gives the board a little bit more hold. And then we also added a much deeper double concave through the fin area. What that does is it breaks all that water pressure into two parts. And then the other thing that we did is we added this fin setup. The fin setup actually started as a twin fin, and then we added a little bonzer fin to the front, and we'll explain a little bit more about that in the Twonzer video if you want to check that out. But the feeling that we were getting is a real drivey twin fin feel with the hold of these side controller fins slash bonzery type of fins. And it was a pretty unique, speedy feeling, real fast down the line, lots of drive, lots of hold. And Trip, you actually got to ride a Brofish recently, and
yeah, I got mine like a stock 511 and got it in the beginning of April. So the very first time I got to ride it, I sent you pictures. You were actually in Indo.
Yeah.
I sent you pictures from the pool in Austin, Texas, at the inland pool, and which is a crazy experience. It's like you're surfing on another planet, like the way the waves coming at you like diagonally against like this chain link fence and everything else. Pretty wild place to test out a brand new board. But like right out of the blocks, super easy to get into waves. Like everybody was telling you, because of the fresh water and because of like the speed of the wave, you're going to need a bigger board. Mm-hmm. But I didn't need a bigger board than what I normally surfed in salt water, or at least with this board. Mm-hmm. Really good hold, and everybody was saying, make sure you have a board that goes good like down the line, that like skates really good, which is this type of board should surf well in that. And the thing rode really, really well. And then the thing that surprised me was that just like how hard you could push the fins and have it still hold, but also the speed that you can generate. Nice. So it wasn't just like a skate where you're kind of going fast and you're like kind of just like skating and you're leaning forward. Like you could push really hard on the back of the board as well, like on your back foot, and get the board going super, really, really fast. So like at the end of the day, looking at the watch, like I had a Rip Curl GPS watch on, it was 4 miles an hour faster than the other boards that I was riding. So, wow. I think a little bit of that was it was PU and it was windy. Like there was a little bit of bump in the water, and so the PU absorbed it. Mm-hmm. But I only think that was like a part of it. I think a lot of it was like really being able to push hard and harness like that fin setup, and then obviously the shape of the board as well. So I was stoked with it for sure.
That's great. That's
and especially like on a brand new like weird wave like that, like all of a sudden like first wave, like feeling comfortable on the board. But I think anything like that's impressive.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that you had mentioned in that text, that you were loving the speed of the board, and were just, that was the one that was, the fastest for you and working well. So that's really cool to know, like that's actually technology being applied to a comparison on, boards.
On identical waves.
Yeah, exactly. Identical waves in a pool. Pretty identical.
Yeah.
So that's really cool technology right there at work, So proven speed.
So what do you think? I've been riding mine here, like at the lighthouse and a little bit across the street from the shop. and you've seen all those different waves. But like, you know, with all of these boards that you're made, like where's the sweet spot for putting this in your quiver, like wave-wise?
I would say this board is definitely going to excel in waves that are usually either more lined up or softer. You know, waves that have a little slopier face and you want to keep a lot of speed going and connect the dots. Also like a really lined up point wave, similar to that wave that you rode in Texas, the inland pool, where you want to generate a lot of down the line speed. But you can definitely redirect quickly. It'll hold, it'll go straight up vertical. I put up some photos on my Instagram of one of the boat captains, one of the guys that runs the tours, just ripping on this shape in the Mentawais. So, and I got some waves on mine. In fact, he loved the Brofish so much that he ended up buying mine off of me. And then he ordered another one for home when he gets back from touring on the Mentawais. So,
Right.
yeah, it's just a really fun, fast board. It's
And
really,
so you're saying down the line and soft, but like what about size-wise? Like, can you use this as a groveler?
you definitely can use it as a groveler. And then you could use it in, you know, like head high, maybe a little overhead if it's slopey, just open face stuff where you're doing a lot of just drawn out cutbacks and rebounds.
Right.
There was one wave that we surfed in the Mentawais where the wave backs off at takeoff. You drop in pretty steep, but then it backs off and you keep your speed. And it was just carving these big cutbacks and you could just big rebounds and then it sets up the inside. But this board was perfect for that.
Right,
You know?
right.
So even in the Mentawais, a flat rocker board has its place. You know, and it keeps a lot of speed. So yeah, I would say anywhere from like 1 foot, you know, beach break stuff. Like I just surfed right out front, just got done with a session on this board and was generating quick speed and got on that tail. And, you know, you could still blast a little bloat, like a little spin drift off the top, you know, cutbacks. It loves all that stuff.
Because that was something you were talking about earlier is having, like, if this were a keel fin, like you wouldn't be able to blow the fins free, like drift it like off the top of the turn, and that was one of the reasons you went to that, yeah?
Exactly. If you have too big of a twin fin, it doesn't release. It'll carve, and when it does release, it almost slides out and it's out of control. And by adding these front fins, it's actually given the ability to control it, but still have that twin fin skatey, like drivey feeling that you get.
Right.
So it's a really great combo feel, and you got to try it to understand it. But
We did a trip to Cardón in Mexico, that long left-hand point in November. I didn't have this with me because it wasn't even invented yet, but it was still being prototyped.
Right, we were literally prototyping.
But
final.
that wave and this board would be a really good match.
Yeah, I heard that wave is really good, open face, but it's a little slopey.
Yeah. So with this thing, it would be perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to go there someday and try it out.
Robert, thanks for hanging out with us and showing us the Brofish.
My pleasure.
If you have any other questions on the Roberts Brofish or any of the other boards in the Roberts Surfboards line, give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.